So this recording is addressed to Flex. Flex, you keep demanding evidence that your friend was a sociopath, and you keep supporting him, despite the things that, including the sociopathic things that he's done. You know, you're defending his pedophilia, you're defending his fucking animal killing, which, by the way, I'm going to tell you this. I've called 7 psychiatrists to follow up and verify my fucking diagnosis on marbles. Everybody says sociopathy. You want to know where they started it? Well, he started killing animals as a child. Every single sociopath starts that way. At least every sociopath that goes on a killing spree. So, I mean, hopefully he doesn't turn out to be the next John Wayne Gacy. But, you know, to be entirely honest, you had a role in this too, and you should really delete yourself off the internet. You know, Marbles isn't an appealing person. How do you think he can draw kids to him? By having somebody childish around himself. Somebody like you, who can't take anything seriously, who can't handle life, and resorts to being a fucking child constantly. Alright? Now that was the thing. That was because you attracted children. Now that was it. I'm not accusing you of being a pedophile. I'm accusing you of basically being a piece of meat. You were a piece of meat and they were hungry. And then he was the one holding the piece of meat. Does that analogy make sense? I hope it does. At any rate, now that you can understand that Marbles was using you, because I just want you to understand this, sociopaths do not have friends. They can feel about 3 emotions. They can feel fear, they can feel anger, and they can feel hate. That's it. They can feel 3 emotions. They are literally physically incapable of feeling anything but that. Literally physically incapable. Alright? So you were, regardless, being used by this guy. Not only that, here's another thing about sociopaths. Sociopaths are projectionists. Every single thing they accuse somebody of to try to make them feel lower is something they actually do, believe it or not. You want to know why? It's because it's the things that they're drawing on from experience. It's one of those fucked up things about sociopaths. Like that they actually do have a minimal amount of creativity. They don't tend to think up new things that people have done that they haven't done themselves. You know, and here's the thing. It's not like Marbles ever had a chance. You know, let's go back to killing the cat. You know, who told him to kill that cat? His dad. Who handed him the shovel? His dad. How old was he? 12. Does that exactly mean he has Father of the Year award material? No. Does that exactly mean he might be a sociopath? Actually, would an uncaring sociopathic person tell their child to kill an animal? Yeah. Instead of, you know, maybe sparing them the horror and doing it themselves and then coming up with a story like, oh, it got better and ran away. You know, that's what an actual father would do and not a sociopath. So I can tell you, he didn't even come from good stock. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if his sisters are pieces of shit and his brother ultimately died at either his hands or another member of his family. Like, I gotta tell you this. With 2 sociopaths in his family and the way that they behave, it would take an amazing amount of evidence to prove to me that that was actually a suicide. I'm just putting that out there. He has a dead brother from childhood. He has at least one sociopathic parent. He is a sociopath. It puts a whole big spin on the shit that has happened in his life. Alright? And I am making the suggestion that he may have murdered his own brother. Now, he probably killed his own dog, too. Let me just put this in perspective for you. Please reread the post that I injured on Marbles Dog Day afternoon, which, by the way, he masturbated to that video. No. I found out later on he masturbated to my most controversial video. That is disgusting. But let's just get to that. All right, that post. Oh, up the Rainbow Bridge. You know, he seems so uncaring about his dog dying. What was that one other weird thing? Dying of natural causes, old age, saying that she was just old. But she ate one last treat, even eating one last treat. Oh, my dogs that died of old age, they didn't eat within their last 3 days of dying. If I remember correctly, they just felt too sick. They were unable to eat. In fact, I have never heard of a dog dying of old age wanting one last treat. Now, I think Marbles probably just decided to put his dog down. And by put his dog down, I mean he probably threw it out the fucking window or off the balcony of his apartment. And he said, "Bye-bye, Butters." You know, that's just putting it in perspective for you. You know, the squirrel thing, literally beating the shit out of a squirrel. All right, let me put that into little terms for you, because this is going to come up again. Sociopaths don't feel fear. They don't feel it properly. All right, I told you, they can feel panic. They can feel hate. They can feel anger. They can't really feel fear properly. So, punching a squirrel to death, beating it to death with a stick, or whatever he did, that's something normal people wouldn't do, because they might be afraid of getting rabies. Alright, let's step this a little bit back now. The reason he was wearing that mask was because he got mutilated in a fucking boxing ring by some guy who was twice his size. Now, what kind of idiot who is 90 fucking pounds soaking wet and 5'5" even steps into a boxing ring? Let alone steps into a boxing ring with a guy my size. Alright, it's suicidal. It is absolutely fucking suicidal to do something like that when you're his size. No wonder his nose got that fucking bent out of shape. And go ahead and look at that high contrast picture he tried to put out there. You know, and also the other things about him being a sociopath. I mean, like, also the 90 pounds thing was a dead giveaway. I mean, you threatened that he was going to come to Denver and beat me up or kill me. I mean, I would seriously love to see that. You know, I mean, I'm pretty sure I can actually lift Marbles up off the ground with one arm. Yeah, I actually know I can lift more than what Marbles weighs with one arm. So, that's kind of the thing. You know, you can't threaten me with him. I already know that he got his face literally rearranged in the fucking boxing ring. Literally rearranged. Alright, this is the guy you're supporting. Alright? And when we're talking about projectionists, sociopaths being projectionists, everything he threw at people, because every sociopath projects onto other people. Every single thing he threw at people. He thinks he's ugly. He is a pedo. He is bisexual. And by the way, a bisexual pedo who is stalking Lachlan and Miker, boy, that takes a whole new meaning. He was an animal killer. He was a woman beater. I mean, you know, he literally stated that he became a feminist so that he could harm women by putting views out there that would cause other people to react in a negative way and try to harm feminism. Alright, and Flex, that's what you're doing too. So you might as well delete off the internet, because there's outright misogyny on your page, and I wouldn't even have a second thought about sending it to Kendra now that I know that you were trying to dox me, you little bitch. Oh, and that's kind of funny that you didn't even have my address. Since I'm Lachlan's dad, you don't even know where the fuck I actually am. Am I in the UK? Am I in Colorado? Am I in Arizona? Am I in New Zealand? What? Where? You don't even know, huh? That's right, I'm a giant troll. I could have told you guys I was in Denver a million times just to get a rise out of you. Just so I led people back to Bruce Goldstein once. You know, that's what you're so fucking retarded about. You know, you're literally pulling what Stevie tried to, which didn't work in the first place. The reason why I stopped with Stevie is literally these words. I owe him a handshake, but God, I want to punch him. There was no reason to continue with Stevie. You know, that's why I stopped. You know, he was actually a good guy. There was no reason to continue. He wasn't what Marbles was making him out to be. He wasn't what you make him out to be. In fact, I don't think any of these people in the ranting community are anything like what you've made them out to be. As far as I can tell, Andrew Stout's a fucking saint, yo. I mean, he is a great guy. And Stevie might have his problems, but he's a good person. I personally don't know Reese or many of the other people that you insult. I've briefly spoken to Queenie once. I don't think she's the kind of person you try to put people out there as that she's this horrible human being. You know, that's the problem, is that you try to put these interpretations out for people, that close them off for other people. You were doing Marbles that favor of separating off his child prey from everyone else. And it worked so well because you are so childish. This childish shit, Flex, is going to prevent you from being an adult. What if I sent this to Kendra? What if this got put on ED? Huh? How would you like that? It's going to prevent you from ever getting a fucking job, you idiot. Dude, the best thing you can do for yourself and everyone else on the internet is just delete yourself and go live a real world life, you fucking idiot. I mean, you know, that's all that it takes. That's all that it takes, because you don't have a life. You sit there for 5 hours at a time insulting people and getting children for Marbles. And getting children for Marbles. And I'm going to repeat it again. Getting children for Marbles. Dude, you might as well delete yourself. You really might. I have all those stupid messages you were sending back and forth to Declan, so I know that you're trying to dox me with that picture that Stevie used from the Greens, from that place that, by the way, I was walking my friend's dog while I was on vacation and walked by that place. Yeah, on vacation. I don't live there, dumbass. Oh. I mean, I'm amazed it worked twice. At any rate, you've embarrassed your fucking self. I mean, you know, I got you to delete your last live stream before you even uploaded it, you giant pussy. Why, huh? Because you don't want Kendra finding out that you want to stick your tongue up every girl's booty hole and you talk about cheating on her and you do all that kinds of shit, huh, little boy? Huh, little boy? Little boy, little flex boy, huh? Huh? Well, guess what? Grow the fuck up, little boy. Because those are the kinds of consequences that happen when you fucking act